how many people are allowed in outdoor public gatherings. And, there's been a lot of talk. There's been information distributed from other organisations, not ours, stating that you can't have more than 20 people in a public gathering. Now, under the Public Health Act, so this is where this fits. This doesn't fit with New South Wales Fair Trading. Yes, they'll regulate us as agents, but it is under the Public Health Act. Okay, so, and when you're looking at I think it's the amendment, which is the COVID-19 restrictions on gatherings and movement order, and the most recent is the number 4 version of this, because obviously it's changing all the time. So the number 4 version, and it's noted, if you have a look at Clause 18, now Part 1 of that says the Minister directs that a person must not participate in an outdoor public gathering of more than 20 people. Okay, that's that. However, you get down to Part 3 of that. So that's Part 1 of Clause 18. Part 3 of Clause 18 says, this clause does not apply to the following. And I'll read them for you. I've just got them here in front of me. So it's a gathering. It does not apply to a gathering of persons on real property to enable persons to view or inspect the real property for the purposes of the sale or lease of that property. It then goes to the next clause, Clause J, goes on to talk about display homes and other display premises. It's all about the property. So the exemption is there for property, so for your open homes, for your auctions. However, don't just go, yeehaw, we can have as many people as we like, because you can't. It is not limited to 20 people, but you may only be able to fit 10 people in because of your square meterage. You still have to consider your square meterage. So it's 1 person per 4 square metres. And then you have to think about, each group or bubble of people who are there to bid at the auction need to be 1.5 metres apart. So you've still got to look at your social distancing. You've still got to look at, how you're going to have, where you're going to hold the auction at a property, how you're going to manage open homes. If you've got more people, if you've got a hot property and there's lots of people coming through, or you've got an auction, and this was from one of the auctioneers I spoke to this week, he's got an auction coming up this weekend, and the agent's telling him that there's already 30 interested parties. So, they were obviously highly concerned about how this was going to operate for them. So, have your plan in place. Make sure you work out where in the property you're going to hold that auction, how you're going to deal with your social distancing, your hygiene protocols, how many people are going through the property at one time. And, at this point, do you need extra help at the open home to make sure that people are being distanced? Restaurants, bars, everybody has a COVID, monitor at the moment, or a COVID marshal, I think some people have got written on their tops in different hospitality industry. Not necessary to have the COVID marshal written on a top, but, just additional people there. They don't need to hold certificates of registration or licenses. Obviously, they're not going to be answering questions to the general public about the property. However, they will be making sure that people, as they're waiting to get into the property to view it, are more than 1.5 metres apart. They can be there making sure that only X number of people are allowed into the property at any one time. And obviously you'll make that decision per property. Larger property, more people. Smaller property, less people. So you need to make all of these decisions about every single property that you're offering as an open home, or if you are having on-site auctions. Obviously, if you're doing in-room auctions, it's then back down to your limiting of numbers. And that's where you might start looking at, okay, well, maybe you move then on to the on-site auction platforms, which I think most of the auctioneers, and they've done it. They're not overly enamoured by them. But certainly they're working on those levels. So guys, just remember, there's a lot of chat out in our industry at the moment about can't do open homes, can't do auctions, can't do this, you're limited by 20 people. The exemptions are us. The exemptions are property. Okay? So if you need to look it up, it's the Public Health Act, and it's the COVID-19 restrictions on gathering and movement order number 4.